Hello, good morning, Facebook world. Welcome to Shake Talk with Barbie Lee. This is where we shake up our wake up. This is where I have the best breakfast ever, my Iceland shake, and typically it's with chocolate because that's the way I roll, actually chocolate vanilla, and we have a little conversation. That's what I do each morning, and I enjoy doing it. I love having my shake and having a conversation because usually I'm alone in the house, so it gives me somebody to talk to. So good morning, Jessica. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So the question today is, do you do this? This. I've got a couple of thises, okay? So thing number one, wait, I gotta drink this. So if your, let's say your dentist called and left a message and said, hey, it's time for a cleaning, give us a call, right? Would you ignore them? Would you just go, no, I don't want a cleaning? Are you that type of person that would just ignore them? Someone took the time out to actually call you, and yes, you're on their call list, and yes, it's what they do as part of their business, but would you ignore them? Are you that person? Okay. How about if your chiropractor, I don't know if chiropractors do this, but if your chiropractor called and said, hey, you haven't been in for a while, it's time for an appointment. Good morning, Linda. Would you ignore them? Right? How about if your mechanic called, right? Maybe you have a mechanic. So I have a great mechanic that kind of sends out little reminders and says, Barbie Lee, it's been a while since your oil change. And I'll be like, oh yeah, right, it's been a while since my oil change, right? So I'll call and get my oil changed. But I'm wondering, are you the type of person, right? Do you ignore them? So if somebody calls you, maybe an aunt called you and said, oh, we haven't spoken in a while, give me a call. Maybe a sister calls, sibling, whatever, right? Whatever it is, if somebody calls you and asks you to call them back, are you the type of person that ignores them? So Jessica and Linda, you guys are on here right now. So are you that person? Are you the person that, just goes, oh, I don't want that or whatever. Sometimes I get calls from, I get a lot of those stupid recorded calls now. They make me nuts. But sometimes I get like a live call, right, from the Diabetes Association or something that says, hey, we're going to be in your area. Do you have any donations? And, I say, no, thank you. I just did a donation, whatever it was, right? But if somebody leaves a message for me, okay, so like the Make-A-Wish left a message for me, right, because I'm a donor? Yeah, I donate to the Make-A-Wish, and they left a message for me saying they'd like to thank me for my contribution for 2016, and could I please call them to confirm my address? Because they wanted to send me a thank you card. Okay, I'd already got my, so the receipt comes from National, but Alberta wanted to send me a thank you card, and they wanted to confirm my address. I called them. I said, you know what, please don't send me a thank you card. Save your little monies for the other people that want the thank you cards. I said, I'm good without it, right? But I called them back, right? Somebody, wrong number. If you ever listen to my message on my phone, you totally know it's me, right? You totally know it's Barbie Lee, who you're calling, and I get this message that said like, hey Joe, it's been a while, I'd love to chat with you, or whatever it said, right? Now I've had this phone number for 11 years, so it's been a long while for Joe to have this coffee. Anyway, I called that person back and I said, you have the wrong number, honey. I said, I've had this number for a long time. And then he realized he misdialed. Okay, could you imagine if I didn't call him back? He'd have thought that this friend Joe was ignoring him, right? Or that whatever, like people make up funny things, right? So do you do that? Do you ignore people? If someone walked up to you face to face and said, hey Jessica, blah, 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 whatever it is, you wouldn't just turn around and ignore them. Well, I don't know, maybe you would, maybe not Jessica, but the point is this: I make a lot of outgoing calls for my Isogenics business, right? A lot. And yesterday, oh my goodness, the grader's coming through. It's very loud. I don't know if you can hear it. Holy Hannah, it's very loud. Yes, here in Alberta, in Edmonton, we need graders to clean our streets after we get a big dump of snow. So I'm making a lot of calls, right? So yesterday I'm making these calls and I'm like, I'm just going to use you, Jessica. You don't get one of these calls because you're fine. I'm like, hey, Jessica, it's Barbie Lee with Isogenics. I just want you to know there's a change happening in how we do ordering in Isagenix, and we're introducing a new program called Customer First, and it will affect your account. Can you please give me a call or send me a text to schedule an appointment? I left, where's my paper? Oh, it's in my bag. I left, wait, I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 of those calls yesterday. I left them between the hours of 1, or probably about noon and 2 p.m. 18 messages, and not one person called me back. I said, please call me between 4 and 9 this evening. Not one person, not even a freaking text. I was like, you know what? That's actually the other finger. I was like, seriously, I love everybody, but my God, I cannot spend all this time. Like, I'm trying to be courteous and offer people, because, you know, when they order next month, their account's going to be different, and they're probably going to be mad about it. And you know what? I can't. So please, don't be that person, right? Be respectful, right? And guess what? Guess what? I bet you didn't know this. Are you ready? Get a pen. Get a pen. Get a pen. I'm going to get a pen. So get a pen. Get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper, right? Piece of paper. This one's already written on. Don't write on that one. Write on a different piece of paper. And write N-O, so the word no, is, or wait, no thank you is a complete sentence. No thank you is a complete sentence. If somebody calls you, right? No, I know, right, Jessica? It's freaking, like, rude. 18 people, right? Something that said, thank you, Barbie Lee, I'll look into it. I'll get back to you next week. I'm busy today. But nothing. 18 people. And I was like, whatever, people. They're not getting a second call, just so you know. Ha! Because I keep track. I'm very organized. So no thank you is a complete answer. If you don't want what somebody has, just say no thank you, right? I talk to a lot of people about Isagenix, about their health and wellness. You know, sometimes they're complaining to me in person. Sometimes they complain on Facebook, and I say, have you ever taken a look at Isagenix? Well, I don't know. I would just say very, very clearly, no thank you is a complete sentence, right? If you're not interested, please just tell me no thank you. I said, but I love these products and this company so much, I will ask you again. I had about 3 months, what is it? What are we already? February? Oh, it's like October, so a little bit longer than that. And I was talking to a lady for a very long time, like a very long time, like 2 or 3 years. Like, not that we were talking every day or anything, but we were continually having a conversation. Oh, yeah, I'll take a look. Oh, yeah. And so I put it in my Facebook group and all that. And finally, I just said to her, because one day a mutual friend of ours had made a comment to me about, she says, did you tick off so-and-so? And I was like, about what? She's like, I don't know. She asked me if you were coming to the event. And I'm like, why wouldn't she ask me? She goes, I don't know. I got the impression that she wasn't going to go if you were going. So I called her up. And I was like, blah, blah. I'm not going to tell you her name. I'm like, blah, blah. I'm like, what's up? Like, if you have a problem, did they do something? And she's like, well, I'm really tired that, every month you send me a text following about Isagenix. I'm like, okay, have you ever said, no, thank you, Barbie Lee, I'm not interested? Well, no, I shouldn't have to. You should know that after a couple months I'm not interested. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. When you tell me no thank you, that's when I know you're not interested. Otherwise, when you told me you were interested and to, check in with you again next month, I do that because it's my business. That's anyways, just say no thank you. It's okay to say no thank you. It's okay if somebody calls you trying to sell you something. It's so funny. Every year on the anniversary of my mom buying a car. So Dwayne bought a car for my mom. Every year at the same time, I get a call from Sherwood Toyota, Sherwood Park Ford, I don't know, something that says, hi, this is so-and-so. And every year it's a different salesman, by the way. So the same salesman isn't still there, right? So thanks, Carol. So I get a call. I'm like, hi. They go, hi, this is so-and-so from this, back in 2014, you bought a blah, blah, Hyundai, whatever, Elantra, whatever from us. And we're just checking out, how's that working out for you? And I was like, and every time, like now I'm expecting it. The first time I was a little shocked. Second time I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then when I just got one, I was like, damn. But you know what? we bought a used car from them. Used cars break down, right? So if they keep calling me every year, right, I might go, you know what? Let's talk about another used car because this one's giving me problems. I totally would use those people because they followed up with me every year, right? They're not calling me and saying, hey, we have a special. Hey, we have this. Hey, it's not about that. It's just about customer service. I call everybody that I can in my Isogenics team twice a year to check in, right? And I have people that are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you found me. I want to change the program, da-da-da-da-da, because their people fall away. So if you are one of those people, right, Jess? If you are one of those people that think that you're so freaking important and other people don't count, stop it. Just stop it. If someone took the time to call you, call them back. Hell, send them a text, okay? Be lazy and send them a text. But at least acknowledge that they're a real person, right? Last story. Some mornings I make the perfect shake. I just have to tell you that. So last story. There's been a lady that reached out to me on Facebook around Isogenics. She said, Barbie Lee, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to tell you her story. And I said, so here's some information. Take a look at it and tell me what you'd like to know next. We engaged in a conversation for probably about a month, right? She wanted information, this and that. Something happened in her life. She's self-employed, so what she thought she had 5 new clients, she didn't, and so she didn't have that income coming in that month. So she said, "Can you get back to me next month?" I said, "No problem." Go back to her next month, and she asked me a few more questions. She says, "Oh, I found out about this. Can you tell me more about that?" And then it just literally for just over a year, it was probably some questions back and forth, and I would say to her, I said, "Hon, when you're ready, please just let me know." Right? And she goes, "Well, yeah, but I'm really curious, and I feel that I like learning about it, and because I'm going to do this." She says, "I'm going to do it. I just don't know when." Right? I said, "Okay." So she's in her Facebook group because we have a private Facebook group. January, I think we commented, right? Yes, Jessica, you're right. Maybe December. Anyways, we had an exchange just recently in the last couple of months. And then I see her, she had joined with another Isogenics group. I am totally okay with that, just so you know. Totally 100% okay with that. She has a dear friend where she is, another business partner. She's in business with something else. They decided to join together with this other lady because it was a best friend of the other lady. And I'm like, great. I'm so glad she found it. But what I'm not happy about is she still hasn't said anything to me. She still doesn't stand in her integrity and say, "You know what, Barbie Lee, I chose to go elsewhere, and this is why." And I'd be like, fantastic, I'm glad you found your way. But what I'm pissed about now is she has been so rude to me. I'm a human being, okay? I'm a human, just in case you didn't know. Yes, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, but I have feelings, I have emotions, right? And if you start ignoring me, and I'm going to tell you the secret, this works for everybody. If you start ignoring them and think you're going to hide, or if you just ignore it, it'll go away, you're an idiot, right? Stand up, be responsible, don't be such a coward, and just say, "You know what? I've made this decision. Thank you for your time." And I'd say, "You're welcome, no problem," right? "I'm glad you found your way." I have introduced thousands of people to Isogenics. I used to do trade shows, and community shows like craft fairs, and I used to do all kinds of things, right? I was a person who introduced thousands of people to Isogenics. And when they walked away from me, I said, "You know what?" I said, keep in mind that Isogenics, and because we're only 13 years old in Canada, right? 12 or 13 years old in Canada. And, back in the beginning, I would say, we're a new company. You're going to be hearing about us. So remember what we talked about, because then and I just said, we're around, and I've seen people. I saw a lady at an Isogenics event. She goes, "I remember you. I met you at a da-da-da trade show." I'm like, cool. I'm like, "I'm so glad you found your way to Isogenics." She goes, "Yeah, it took me 4 years." And I was like, yay, I do that, right? So I'm just gonna say, don't be that person, right? Just be polite, just be respectful, and no thank you is a complete answer. It's a complete sentence. You do not have to explain. You don't have to, and please don't bullshit. You do not have to explain. You do not have to make up any story. Just say, no, thank you. It's not for me. There was a guy at church. I said to him, I said, have you and I ever had an Isagenix conversation? Well, not really. And I said, would you like to? And he goes, not really. I said, okay, great. Thanks. I said, there was a meeting on Monday night that I thought you might be interested. No, it's not my thing. I said, okay, great. I said, well, I see you, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, bye. That was the end of it. I don't care. Just so you know, I don't care. And anybody who is in their own, I guess, taking responsibility for their own life, you make your choices, I make mine. I am not affected by your choices. Like, it's like this. Okay, I told you it was the last story, but I lied. A waitress in a restaurant doesn't walk by you and say, would you like more coffee? And when you say no, she doesn't go and cry in the back corner. It's just her job to ask you if you want more coffee. In Isagenix, it's my job to help you have the best experience. If you don't want my help, just say no, thank you. Okay? And do that with everybody in your life. If you don't want what they're offering, you don't want their friendship, just say no, thank you. Stop bullshitting. Stop beating around the bush. Stop hiding. Stand up. Own up. Be a grown up. Be a human. Be compassionate. Be real. Okay? I'm out here.